Hey everyone, it's Lisa. We're live here again at Anchor Point, and we have some super fun stuff for you today. So thanks for joining us. I'm just going to kind of ramble on a little bit while everybody jumps on. We have to kind of do that little delay thing before we start talking real fun, serious stuff. But Kaylee and I were just laughing because Linda, about an hour ago or a half hour ago, was just like, I got to get in the shower yet. So we're live now, and I don't think we see Linda yet. So I'll just be like,
she's here.
Oh, she's here? Really?
I'm awesome. Here.
She's on. Okay, but I'm sure she's going to look her gorgeous self as always. Yeah, but I'm very impressed that she could do what she did in a half hour. But
I was like,
because I would never be ready in a half hour unless, no makeup, no nothing, which usually I can do that because I don't ever pretty much wear makeup unless I'm talking to you. So then to not waste that makeup, I make Nick take me out that night.
All right, here's Linda. So
okay, let's say hi to Linda.
She's looking, she looks a little frozen. So hang on a minute. We'll go. All right, well, let's continue on. Linda's coming back here.
Okay, so when Kaylee lets me, we'll let Linda talk and say hi to you. Yep. But you're going to get some expert advice today on quilting. So whether you've done Everlasting or not, you'll gain something from Linda. She's super knowledgeable, super smart, super creative. She knows her stuff, and just do what she says to get the results that she does, because it's amazing. And she makes my quilts, out of the world. I think they look great, but after they come back, they look amazing. So I'm super blessed to have her quilt my quilts. And I think, are a pretty good team. So how is she looking? Is she on yet?
Nope.
No? Okay.
She'll come back.
No, Linda. All right. So she probably just thought that I'd go on without her for a little while. But I do have a couple shop notes for you. So this will blow some time here. But Annette Plog's book, Time Honored Traditions, has landed in Primitive Gathering. So those will be going out today and tomorrow. So thank you for all of you who ordered her book from us. And I'm sure Annette thanks you as well, because those quilts are cool. And we all appreciate supporting another designer and her creative endeavors. And then we have, this is really good. So we have been waiting for American Gatherings to give us a date that those pre-cuts, Moda usually doesn't put a date in unless they're pretty darn sure that that's when it's coming in. So we have a date between April 9th and 15th. So at least we have a date. Yes, it's 2 weeks, but we have a date. So we're super happy about that, because we all want to do that stitch along, right? I want to be making blocks and you be making blocks and getting into that getting our patriotic mojo on for summer, because it's going to be beautiful. We're going to have fun. We're not going to be like last year where we can't do things. Hopefully everybody will be getting their shots, and we'll be able to see all our people and do all of our things. And we have lots of stuff going on at Primitive Gatherings. You all know that as well. Okay. Another thing is, has to do with the wool box. So if you're in the wool box, pay attention right here. Okay. Our wool box, we will have some openings, and Jessica said that next week, look for the announcement as to what date you can sign up, because there will be limited spots. So you want to pay attention. We'll announce it a couple times before it'll go live to make sure you get a chance at getting in, because those spots are limited and they go super fast. So don't miss out. And then one little thing we have done for, if you are in the wool box right now, the last box that you got, we had a little miscut of one of the wools in there. So you will all be getting a new piece of wool for the wings for the dragonfly in the next box. So we will label that as to what it's for. And don't worry, some of you will use some of your stash. That's fine, but we're not going to know who's doing that and who's not. So you're all getting a piece, because that was our mistake, and we take care of our mistakes. So, and we all know everybody makes mistakes, right? I don't even ask whose mistake it was. I don't care, because it does happen, and we just move on and take care of it and move forward. So, Linda,
she's here.
Do you want to say hi?
There. Okay. Hi, Linda.
Hi. You can see me and hear me right now.
Can you turn
Yes.
her, can you turn her up?
Okay, awesome.
Okay. All right.
I heard Lisa talking about how quick I got ready. It's literally like Guinness Book of World Records ready time.
Yeah, because we've hung out in a hotel room. So when you told me you still had to take a shower, I was like, oh boy.
I was like heading to the bathroom when I heard, Linda, can you hear me? And I was like, oh no. I was like, hi guys, I'm getting ready to get in the shower. It's crazy. Yes, I did. So we'll see, because my hair is not totally dry. So we'll see what it looks like by the end of this.
I was thinking it looks fantastic. You're good.
Well, and like we all know, like we all say, they don't care what we look like. They just want to see the quilts and talk about the
yeah,
quilting.
That's so true. So
why were you kind of late getting ready today? Did you stay up late quilting? What did you do?
You know, I'm always staying up late working. I was doing all the things, and then I was trying to do my website, and I forgot that I hadn't put anything on social media about this. So I was trying to do all the things. I sent out a newsletter. So if any of you guys got it, it's, I think, riddled in typos because I don't read it or anything. I was like, I sent it, and then the thing said it's out there, and I was like, awesome. Right. My husband is sending me text messages with all my typos, and I'm like, it's too late.
Oh yeah, Linda has an awesome husband, Scotty Rockbass, as my husband calls him. But
he's at work. So I have my sewing shirt on today. I don't know if you guys know that. AC/DC. Do you guys know how they got their name? Sorry, my phone is dinging. How the band came up with their name? Does anybody know that? You guys can Google it. But when they came out with their name, one of the guys, I think the guitarist, walked into his sister's room, and her sewing machine was sitting there, and they're in the UK. And the cord on the side of the sewing machine, like where the electrical, like the cord goes into the machine, it said AC/DC, and it had like electrical current. And he thought, that's a really cool thing. And so that's how they came up with their name of their band.
That is awesome.
I know. So in my story, I always tell people that she was a quilter. But you guys can Google that. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows that, but I always talk about it. It's my sewing shirt. Plus, when their music is playing, it keeps me going.
Well, I love your AC/DC shirt. I'm pretty lame and have my Stitch with Lisa shirt on today. So
that's the best.
No, I'm not famous enough that I can't wear my own shirt.
Yes, you are. Lisa is totally famous. Everybody knows that. She is our rock star.
No, I have no pride. Here it is. I'm wearing it. Yeah.
I love it. I'd have one that said "Quilt with Linda," but I'm not there yet.
I would love to see some people with their shirts on. So I want you all to post in our Facebook group with your T-shirt on if you got one. That would be awesome to see. All right, how many people do we have on? We got enough to start going about the good stuff?
We got 250 people.
Yep.
But do we want to do our announcement quick? Because then, yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I have an announcement. Linda, hold tight, okay?
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
No worries.
All right. So can you see me?
Perfect.
Right. Okay.
She's so super cute.
Hey, I'm Kaylee. I'm usually on the other side of the camera, but I'm hopping on to tell you because Tuesday? We had our first super sticker that was sent to us. And if you're not familiar with what super stickers are, I'll just give it to you in a nutshell. At the end of the bottom of your comment column, you'll see little icons, and you can find super stickers in there. And basically it's an emoji that you can share with us. And it's purchased with a small fee. The fee goes towards our bigger and bettering our YouTube channel for you guys. So if you want to support us in that way and send us a super sticker, that would be awesome. And along with super stickers, we have super chats. And what happens then is if you purchase a super chat, your comment will be pinned to the very top of the comment column. And for a duration of time based on how much you're spending to purchase the chat. So if you spend $1.99, it'll be posted for like a couple of minutes. If you spend $5.99, it'll be posted for like 5 minutes or something like that. So again, if you want to support us in that way by sending us a super chat or a super sticker, we would really appreciate it. And it's just another fun way to get involved with us and to communicate with us. So just, if you pay attention to the bottom of that column, hang on just a minute. I have something to show you. So right here. Okay, so there's a little thing. At the very bottom, there's going to be a couple of icons. And, is that better? So just kind of play around. There's some, I think there's like thumbs up or cool avocados, anything like that. So just take a look. And again, if you want to support us in that way, the funds that we receive from your purchases will go directly into our bigger and bettering our YouTube channel for you guys. So there, super stickers and super chat. Just give it a check out. And I might be shouting out to anyone who does that during our live today. So if you hear someone celebrating in the background, we just wanted to say thank you. So I'll turn it over to Lisa and Linda. All right, you're back.
All right, here we go. Okay, Linda. So I'm just going to introduce our quilt, the Everlasting Quilt. And one of the reasons why we're talking about it now is because it's all available now as a pattern and as a kit. And they are on our website right now. And again, we don't have hundreds of them. We have a limited number of them. So if you want one of these, they are now available. So I do want Linda to talk about her awesome quilting, but I'll quickly talk a little bit about what this is, where it came from, or some other things about it. But it's called Everlasting, and this was one of our wool box quilts, and it was an ongoing project. So it was 24 different blocks in here. You got 2 each box, so it was for a whole 2 years. So there's 6 boxes in a year, and for 2 years we were making this quilt in our subscription for the wool boxes. And we do have another ongoing quilt in the new set that just started in January, I believe. And yes, if you do get one of those spots, we will give you an opportunity to purchase the box that you missed, those blocks.
Woohoo! Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for your super sticker.
She's so excited about that. It's so funny. But yes, so this is now a pattern that you can get from Primitive Gatherings, even if you did not do the wool project, the wool box project. So, and I just want to kind of point out how awesome our patterns are for wool. We have big, nice photographs of everything. We do very detailed color throughout. And then we also do this. So whatever color wool you need, we point that out, and we list everything that you need to fit on this piece of wool. So this strawberry piece of wool is this big, and we show you how to trace it in that space, so you will never be short of wool if you use the right wool for that spot. But that's kind of how these patterns go. And we give you full layouts of borders, of words, all that kind of stuff. So you're not like stuck saying, well, where does this go? How does this work? So we give you full layouts of the borders that you will attach, and you'll have the whole thing. So I think I'm pretty proud of the fact that we don't just say, here's your shapes, put them on. We actually give you those border layouts, and every little thing we can think of, we give you in these patterns. So kind of keep that in mind. When you do see a pattern and it's like $50 or $60, this gives you a kind of a reason why they're that much, because they're so in depth, because they're everything you're going to need and we got you. So you'll never be like, oh, I don't know what to do here. Kaylee, why are you smiling?
Because Linda's getting her other device set up and it's looking good.
Okay, all right. So this right now is available as a full kit on our website. I do not know the price. Go look. And the pattern is also available. So again, 24 blocks. And then we did the center and the borders kind of as a finishing kit. It says live life in full bloom. And again, Linda has taken my design and really made it sing with all of her quilting. So Linda, are you ready to talk about some of this?
She's muted.
She's muted.
Oh, okay.
There, you're on. Yay.
Places, I think, right?
There. You're in several places now. And Michelle, thank you for your sticker. You guys are awesome.
All right, is Linda on?
Yeah, but she keeps muting herself.
All right, hang on while we figure this out. Sorry, we don't do it enough to.
There, she's back.
There, I'm back.
You keep muting yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to talk about the quilt. So I think Elena's going to take the camera off of me so I can look at the quilt. Is that okay? And Kaylee, can you pan on the quilt?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Or well,
Okay,
she'll
that's
have
cool.
to
So why
on
don't-
her. Yeah.
Why don't we
No,
do
we're talking about this quilt.
Yeah.
She doesn't have this quilt.
Oh.
that?
So she wants
So are
you
you
to
guys
come up
seeing me
closer.
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I stink at this. Okay, so I love this quilt so much. Didn't you like? Isn't this one of your favorites now, Lisa?
Yeah, it is. It's probably for sure top 3.
Top 3. Yeah. I don't know if it. Let me see. Top 3. Yeah, probably. I would say. I don't know. After I get Thankful Life done, it might be move up. Move up the ladder on that. So a couple of things on the quilting. One of the things that I wanted to point out was the blocks. How long did you guys work on those blocks? Those
2
were in
years.
the wool box.
2
For
years.
a year? 2
Two.
years. 2 years. So what I really wanted to do was to highlight those blocks and kind of quilt around them and frame them so they would stand out beautifully. And I think on that one, the flower blocks, I echoed every single flower block. And then I think on the house blocks, I just did a filler around them, like pebbles and different things. But I think that one has the echo filler around it. But as you can see on each around them, I used my number 8 QP curve on that one. This one right here, to create that kind of frame, that connecting frame. And then that ended up being a secondary design. Once you see the whole quilt together, that ended up being a secondary design around each flower and house block and the center, actually, too, the center medallion. There, you can see that good. So I just continue. It ended up being a simple design, but really graphic once it was done. Just taking the number 8 QP curve ruler that I have, and I'm using, it was really easy because I could flip around and use the inside curve and use the outside curve, and it made it go really quickly, relatively quickly for me. And then what you're seeing there is the curved cross hatching, and you can see a little bit of the border. So kind of to frame that center of the quilt, I used actually new templates. These, if you can see that border there, it's kind of like a big swag border with deep curves. So kind of the difference, let's see. This is my regular QP curve, and then these are the new flex. Let me see which way they go. There we go. These are the new flex. So they're like this deeper curve, and they are based on ellipticals, not circles. These are based on cutting a circle out. So that's how in the border you can get those really deep curves like that in the border. And I used 3 different sizes. Actually, the D, the E, and the B size to get those. And I'm using the outside and inside curves to create those swags on there. In addition to that, I'm using it also in those setting triangles, the cream setting triangles, because you can, in addition to doing swags and borders and things like that, you can curve crosshatch. So I curved crosshatch. It just has a deeper curve, so I can add feathers in that area where I love my QP curves, but they're just a very soft, gentle curve. And when you want something that kind of really swoops in there, that's why the flex came in. So I used every size flex, and I used 3 sizes of the QP curve on there. I used my BFF, which is this little one, to stitch around the appliques and things like that. I used the number 8, which I already showed you guys right here. And I actually used the 15 in the border. And
Linda,
yes.
do you want to tell them your site, and is all the stuff
yep.
that you're talking about on your site? Kaylee's
So
got it running across the bottom, but just
yeah. So everything's available at thequiltedpineapple.com. Yep. And I'm having a big sale because this is like the worldwide launch. The first time I've ever talked about these. I've been using them on 3 different quilts, but the first time I've ever really talked about them and got the sizes all set of what I wanted to use. And there we go. Pull it like that. I have my trusty assistant Elena helping out here. So the sizes that I want to use and everything all set. So they come in a set of 5. And they are available on my website, thequiltedpineapple.com. I'm having a big sale to launch these, as well as a sale on all my other curves and edges, straight edges, as well as the combos, the bundles, the DVD, my quilt DVD, where I talk about quilting and designs and using my rulers a little bit on those. And that's available to stream now online as well. It wasn't before. It was just like a physical DVD. So I'm going to have Elena, I'm actually going to show the border design just kind of briefly here, just kind of give a little quick like drawing demo real quick. And then Elena can show it while I'm watching, if that works for you guys.
try to get it home.
Or why you guys are watching and I'm working, you guys are watching. Can you flip it?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you right
Yeah.
here? You can see it? Can you guys see it? Lisa?
Yeah, if she can go a little closer, that'd be great. There we go. There we go.
Okay, so this is kind of like, let's just say that was the border of, looks just like it, doesn't it? Looks just like Everlasting Stitches. So what I did was, if this is the top edge of the quilt, and so this is going to be up against my machine, or if you're working on a sit-down machine, you're going to have a little bit room, but it's going to be kind of basically the same idea. So the thing with these is I'm going to lay my C. I said I used the C here. And so I'm going to be able to line this up with a seam, the seam here, and this is your body of the quilt right here. So these lines are on here to be able to easily line up with the edge of your quilt or a block or a seam. So these are here, they're dashed and they're numbered so you can make sure that you line them up correctly. So if I was going to stitch, you'd actually be like 1/4 of an inch. Your hopping foot would be 1/4 of an inch, which I have these little drawing circles that are available on my website that mimic that. But let's just, for sake here, we're going to do this. So I'm going to line this up on my machine, and I was going to stitch this way. And then I'm going to move this up and line it with this line right here on my ruler. It lines right up. And I'm going to be able to stitch this line. And see how the inside is the exact same. So if you are going to use this on your side, you would be able to easily be able to replicate that and not have to go across your body with your machine. You can easily just use the inside of that curve. So you guys can see those were the same. It's the same degree curve on both sides. So it makes it really easy to stitch out. And then if I was going to grab another one and create those swags. So you can see the lines are graduated on these. They're a little bit different than my regular QP curves. And the reason for that is so you can still crosshatch, but you're not going to be crosshatching from here to here. You're going to need something. You're going to crosshatch from here to here. And that is going to duplicate that 1/4 inch and mimic that. So in the border, did the swags with the feather, and then I cross-hatched between the swags. And when I did that, I lined up my number 15 curve, because if you line up, we use the C curve, you're going to be able to line up the lines right up until about here, because they graduate down, because these are an elliptical design. So you're going to want a little bit softer curve, and they work great. They coincide with the regular QP curve. So then I could use my 15 curve and create that curved crosshatch in the border. And if anyone has any questions, please ask them. Is it on me now? Okay.
Yeah. So Linda, what is the largest size quilt you can quilt?
The largest size on my machine or on my template? Was that a question?
That was a question, yeah.
So with the rulers and the templates, it's endless, but like on my machine, probably like 120 by 120 would be the biggest.
Linda, can these be used on a sit down?
Yes, they can be used on a sit down. The only difference is that you will need a 1/4 of an inch or like a ruler foot for your machine. If you use them on your sit down machine. If you have a low shank machine, you won't be able to get them behind your ruler foot, because they're a 1/4 inch. And with that, you could step down to my QP draw. They're on my website. They're only 1/8 of an inch, and they're the same thing. They're the QP curve. We don't have them in the flex sizes yet, but that might come. They're in an 1/8 inch size, and those will work for a low shank machine. You can still use these with a low shank machine. You just won't be able to put the ruler, you won't be able to get it behind, when you're working behind your 1/4 inch, your hopping foot. That's not.
So if you don't have a long arm, but you want to mark with and you're going to do it on your domestic machine, you would use those 1/8 inch ones
only if your machine is a low shank machine. If you have, I don't have a low shank machine, but both of my machines, my Juki and my Janome, are high shank. So I don't have that issue when I use that on a sit down domestic. The only machines that you would want to use 1/8 of an inch is on a low shank machine.
Okay, so like if I wanted to use some of these on my mini quilt, it doesn't matter what I have, but I would get the bigger ones, even though it's just
right. You would get the bigger ones because you can still use them. The only difference is when you're moving, and this is how I tell people, with my long arm, I'm kind of moving the pen, and on your domestic, you're moving the paper.
So we would be marking on the domestic. We'd use them for marking.
You use them with marking, but you can use them. You can quilt with them on a domestic too.
Oh, wow.
I have a video like on my Facebook page under videos where my friend Patty, who does all her quilting on a sit down machine, is actually gliding the ruler with her fabric and quilting with it. So
amazing.
She's not just marking and then quilting. Nope, she's actually using the edge, so she gets a really smooth edge.
Okay.
Do you do the echo quilting first and then go to the borders, or how do you lay out your quilt?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. So with quilts like this and, Live a Thankful Life, I know that I'm going to quilt them pretty densely. So what I do is I typically tend to load my quilt and secure my borders, like do some basting stitches in my border, stitch in the ditch around my blocks and things like that, or basting stitches. And then I make sure everything's very secure. And then I go and I stitch my borders. I typically quilt my borders, and then I'll go back in and do my blocks. So that's when I would do all the ditch work around those flower blocks or house blocks, and then do the echo quilting as well. So I tend to quilt from outside in and do my borders first, but I secure my quilt so it doesn't shrink and get all wonky. And I always quilt the area that I have available. Now with Live a Thankful Life, I will go through and I will do a lot of basting and quilt things down and kind of go back and quilt the areas around it, only because there's a lot of applique on there, and I don't want the quilt to get all wonky or puff up in some areas and shrink up in other areas. So I stabilize it really well.
Cool. All right, here's another question. Michelle has your bundle DVD set that she bought at Christmas time.
Yes.
She wants to know if she will be able to access to stream it.
So that if she already bought the physical DVD, that she bought the physical DVD, so it would be, you can go online and get the online version. I don't know, she wouldn't have access, I don't think, to the online version if you
So I'll just have her message you. So
Yeah,
Michelle, just message Linda and you guys can
the
figure
online
it out.
thing is new, so that wouldn't, I don't think, it's two different things, so I don't think it works the same. I have to check on that, but I don't think so.
Okay, so great tutorial. I love seeing that in progress. Okay, click on that one. We got another question for you.
Okay.
When you are planning a quilt, do you draw it all out using your templates true to size on paper before taking it to the machine?
So what I do is, I'm like very old school. I will take a picture of the quilt unquilted, and sometimes I draw right on the picture. I print it off. I don't put it on my iPad and do stuff like that. I don't find that it helps me as well. But what I mainly do is I take all my templates and I lay the quilt top here on my surface here, and I actually physically put my rulers and templates on the quilt top, and I kind of mix them around like a puzzle to see how they fit, and I will draw right on the quilt top, like practice draw designs. I actually have a picture of Live a Thankful Life that sometimes I forget to do that, but of me doing that, of doing some chalk designs on it. And when I do that, like I say, it's a puzzle, is I just lay them out on the quilt top and I just kind of throw my templates on it and I connect from like one area to another. I always talk about, I connect points, or I look for something that I can reach from one end to the other and put my templates on there, and designs kind of seem to appear on their own. It makes me look like a better quilter, I think, than I am. But that's how I kind of start, is I want the quilt to all tie together. So that's why I do it that way, is I just lay my rulers right on there and I'll chalk draw right on the quilt top. Or with purple marker.
Awesome. All right, so here's Lisa.
So I do want to give you another opportunity to see another Everlasting quilt. This is Randy Mccarty's quilt, and he quilted this on his long arm as well. And I know he has been a student of Linda and an admirer of her work for a long time. So I wanted to give Randy's quilt some airtime here because it's so beautiful. He did such a great job.
That's Linda's.
Oh,
that's Randy's.
That's funny. I was like, that looks a lot like me.
Yeah. Here we go, Randy. Sorry.
There.
All right, here's Randy's quilt. I forgot that it wasn't behind me, but here we go. So you can do it. And I know Randy has like a smaller Bernina long arm, like the 18 or 24 inch or 18 or something like that. He doesn't have like a huge, big long arm. He does this on like a smaller version, mid arm, I think it's called. Sorry, I don't know all the technical long arming terms, but this is Randy's quilt. It's beautiful. Kind of see the back here. So you can see where the white thread is. Linda, I'll show the back of yours too.
Okay, awesome. Randy's quilt is beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah, thinking like that.
There.
I love it.
All right, back to Linda's.
Back to Linda's. Yeah. So here's the back of Everlasting, Linda's version.
Yeah, you can see the white threads on there too. Which
It's
I think looks
artist. I always say, Linda, what color back do you want?
Yeah, I love the look of a dark back with light threads. I think it always looks really pretty. Yeah, looks more striking. That's my favorite, versus a light backing with dark threads might show like all my little bobbles and things like that.
All right, so Linda, take a little break, take a drink, and
I'm gonna tell just threads real quick.
Threads.
threads. I think that was a question on Everlasting
Okay.
that I saw on Facebook, on your Facebook Live.
Okay.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're there.
Lisa's gone. Oh, okay. So I used So Fine threads. Of course I don't have the cream one that I used because I didn't grab that one, but I didn't use a completely black thread, which this is Superior So Fine 50 weight 411. I did not use this one. It was a little too blendy in with it, dark enough that I couldn't see what I was doing. So I actually used, and you can see it really good in here because it looks actually black if it wasn't next to the black. I used color 410 on Everlasting as well as Live a Thankful Life so that I can see what I'm quilting, but it doesn't look too light on there that it takes away from the quilt. And then around the appliques and things like that, I used my go-to monofilament thread. It's by YLI. It's their 0.004 Wonder monofilament. It's nylon actually. So, but it doesn't melt, or you can wash it and do all the things. It's really durable and it's very matte finish. You guys can see it doesn't really shine. And I use that around all the applique and so that I don't have to change thread colors and things like that. It makes it super easy. So wait. So I don't know, is there any other questions, or you guys want me to take a break and then we can show Live a Thankful Life peek?
Yes, that's what we have planned for them. Are you actually going to quilt on it for them?
I can't because my Wi-Fi doesn't go that far.
Oh, okay.
I lose you guys at the corner of the quilt. So I figured I moved it. I kind of like rolled it back so you could get a good view of what's quilted. And I didn't do that. I mean, could quilt on it, but I don't know if you guys will see it because
You could do
our
your
Wi-Fi
phone.
gets, it gets too far from the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Last time I tried to do it, I lost everybody.
All right. Thanks, Linda. Stay
Yep.
tuned. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Lise.
All right, so we're going to move on to Live a Thankful Life. And again, I know everybody is so patiently waiting for us to have this out as one full pattern. And again, this is huge as a pattern. We had to get a different bag to be able to stuff all those sheets in there. So this is the pattern, full pattern for Live a Thankful Life. And we also have, I just want to kind of show you, I have a tub here. This is how it comes. So you'll get each block patterned and kitted in a separate baggie, for lack of a better term there. And everything, like this will be like the sashing. So here's all these pennies. So we do have, again, a limited amount of kits available on our website. Here's a thread kit for all of the threads we used. And this is all set for you and ready to go. This quilt here is Randy's. He sent it to me so we could hang it in the shop while Linda's just finishing up hers. And again, it's so fabulous. I love this quilt. It's amazing. The colors are just so cool coming off this black. It's really hard talking about your own design and, being like, oh my God, I love it. But I do love this. It is very, very unique and very fun. And I want you all to know that usually when I start the block of the month, I don't really have it finalized. I kind of like to design as I go. So I know that this is the first block I did. And then I just kind of grafted out. And I didn't know if I was going to do some piecing in this sashing. But what happened is I wanted these blocks got kind of busy in some spots. So what I tried to do is give it a place for your eye to rest, but yet have something still in there so it wasn't boring. And I loved stitching the pennies. It was not hard at all. They went very quickly. And you get to be, by the time you do this, you become very efficient at working with bigger blocks and that type of thing, holding them in your hands. And a beginner can even do any of this applique. All we're doing is fusing it down and stitching around it. That's it. So if you can read the directions and just kind of go step by step, you will be successful at this. And we also have Facebook groups where you can ask any question that you have on whatever you're working on. So that really helps us. And when we do these, this was last year's summer block of the week. The people that do it during the summer, they actually are my pattern testers. They find any of the little glitches, any of the little, sometimes there's a typo on a thread or something like that, but they iron out all the kinks, and then it becomes a pattern for other shops to buy, or that we release out into the wild for anybody. But we always do this as a deal. So when you see the price of this, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's just, but when we do it as a summer block of the week, it's pieced out. There is a deal in it. You don't have that big of an investment in the summer block of the week as if you do it all at once, or if you do it as a block of the month. So we do reward you for following along with our summer blocks of the week. And I know it's getting to be about that time again, and you're going to all start asking me, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We already have something. However, we are going to postpone it just a little bit. We're going to launch it, and then it's going to have a little bit of a delayed start because of our move with the new primitive gatherings. But just back to the summer blocks of the week, one of the other things that happens is when you do it with us during the summer, we always include a freebie. So when you get this block, you always get another little freebie, something each week that makes something else. So I just happen to have the freebie from last year as well. So hang on a minute. Here is Wherever You Go, Bring Your Own Sunshine. So each week that they were doing their summer block of the week, they got one of these little flower designs. And then at the end, I put together a finishing package, and then I offer it to you. You can either take it or you don't have to buy it. You can do whatever you like. But these are free, and then we get a little bit of income from when we sell you the finishing kit. So hopefully we hope that you like what we did and you support that. So this right now is a kit and a pattern, either together or just a pattern, or however you want that, on our website as well. So all of our summer blocks of the week are launching right now as single patterns and kits. So we have a nice supply of this one. So this one is much easier to kit. So you don't have to worry about this one. If you want to do one that you might not be able to get, but then you want this one as well, you could probably hold off a little bit on this one. We have a nice supply of this one.
All right, going back to Live a Thankful Life. What kind of backing is on it?
This is flannel, and then we put any kind of flannel backing on it. Did you say backing?
Backing.
Yeah. So Randy put this plaid on the back of his. A nice fall color would always look good on the back as well. So don't think you have to do black and black and black. You can do a nice color here. I don't really stress too much about what I put on the back. Sometimes whatever's available or whatever. So because a quilt like this, to me, is not going to be on my bed. This is going to be on the wall. This is going to be hanging, and this is a work of art. This is not one, I know you get tired of me saying this, but this is not one that people are going to be drooling on in the middle of the night. This is art. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so any questions more on Live a Thankful Life?
Can you say the name of the freebie quilt one more time?
Wherever You Go, Bring Your Own Sunshine.
Perfect.
And all of these things that I'm talking about today are on our website under the new button. So when you see those three little bars on the website, you click that, and then it brings you to all of the categories. So you want to go to new, and then there's a black circle that says Live with Lisa, and everything is loaded there for you for easy finding it. So it's kind of hard but easy at the same time.
Will any of them be offered again as a block of the month?
Possibly, but you never know. We might just move on. So
Awesome.
all right. So if there's not any other questions, Linda, do you want to talk a little bit about Live a Thankful Life?
Yes. Can you guys see me? Okay. So I'm walking over to my machine. So a couple of things. Hang on here. I was like so busy listening to Lisa talk about all the things. Okay. So I have my helper back. So you go ahead and will you flip it?
Yeah.
Can you guys see me? Can you see me now? Lisa, can you hear me? It might not.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
I was muting.
It gets all weird with the Wi-Fi. Can you see the quilting? Can you guys see the quilting? I put my rulers. Can you guys see it?
Have her cut. Oh yeah, now you can see it. It takes a little bit to focus, but then you can see it.
Okay, because my templates are all over the darn place.
I wish we could figure out how to do this big. Oh, hang on.
No, you're good.
Yeah, can you hold this?
Hold on.
So are you guys ready for me?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Hold on.
Yeah, Linda, you're all good to go.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yep, sorry.
Sorry. So I had my template. So you guys can see this is the top border. Here you can see my best friend is a lint roller. Especially with this quilt. I always tell Lisa I pick up everything on this side of Michigan with the quilts. So this quilt is double batted, black batting, Hobbs 80/20. So there's 2 layers. There you can see my templates are kind of all strewn, but I've used all 5 of the flex templates. So I'll kind of move. Can you guys see this design here? I'll kind of move what I did. So I wanted something that, like I said, was a little deeper curve, but these are elliptical, so they're not going to be like full circles. And I wanted something that just kind of swooped into the border. Now, regarding quilting this is a very primitive quilt, but yeah, it's very elegant as well. Like Lisa did this beautiful wool applique cascading border. So I really wanted to enhance that. I didn't want to make this to have ultra primitive quilting as well, if that makes sense. So I wanted something really elegant and beautiful. So in there, I've mixed some curved cross hatching, some feathers, these swoopy feathers to kind of fill in, but also this beautiful like swag border that really enhances and kind of echoes the wave of the border, that beautiful wool applique border. So just using, like I said, using my templates. So people ask me all the time, do I measure everything out? Do I make sure that I have everything as far as mathematically correct? Not really. But what I did here is I'm using my C flex. And if you guys notice, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4 pennies. 4 pennies every time. So naturally, going down the sides, there were 32, I think, pennies. So that was like 4 pennies, 8. I was going to have like 8 swags, 8 of these curves. Of course, Lisa, I think, put 25 on the top. So that didn't come out to 4. So if you guys notice, like my little trick is I have them coming in, and then the center one, we don't go all the way into that one. I actually curved crosshatch in there just to help myself out. So it was like every 4 going this way, every 4 going this way, and then that center one, that's what I do to help, make things come out okay for me math-wise. These pennies, so one of the things about this is I was really concerned with, I didn't want to stitch in the ditch around every single one of those because I wasn't sure how I was going to do a cool connecting design. So what I ended up doing is just doing encasing these in kind of a square, but basically I can do this in one start and stop and start here and stitch to each point. I just kind of divided them up to the top of each penny. going both ways. And then I went back and did my refrigerator coil filler around each of them. So then these pop and I don't have to stitch in the ditch around them. So they still enhance and like really frame the outside of the quilt or each of these blocks without like taking away from it, but they don't just blend in either because you put a lot of work into those pennies and I want those to stand out without taking away from the quilt. So that was kind of my trick to get around that. Each of the blocks are quilted different. You can see the truck block here. Oh, I see I need a stitch in the ditch around some of that still. But this just has that chevron quilting, straight line quilting. If you go over to the birds here, if we can make it over here, I have my curve, using the curves here, or excuse me, the flexes. I call them the curves. I'm not used to the new one. And then filling in with feathers and things like that. So around, I use the same threads that I used on Everlasting Stitches, the exact same ones, except for, I don't think I've used any, I think maybe I used a little bit of cream too, but I'm doing the monofilament on the appliques. Elena, if you want to show those, the appliques, like I did monofilament in and around these to make it easier and you can't see it. Let's see what else. Can you see this? Can you see the quilting on this? So to can you see it on this side though? Okay. Can you see the quilting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here I have my light to shine to kind of give side light here. So here to connect this curve just to kind of give it a connecting area. I used my B flex here. E flex is the largest one, and that's out here. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys about the flex and being able to use the inside and the outer curves, like I showed, because so when you're working with your top border, you see that you want to be able to use the inside of this template. This makes it so much easier for me because if I was trying to use the top of this, do you guys see, I would really have to scooch this down. And of course I've rolled this back so we could see this, but to make it easier, because I always like to give myself the most space that I can without having to roll the quilt back and forth and everything. So being able to use that inside curve, because I would have to roll this down like basically 6 to 7 inches to be able to access the top of my border. So being able to use the inside of the curve, you guys can see it echoes it completely, is a miracle. I mean, it makes my job so much easier. So that's why it's really important to me to be able to have the same degree curve on the inside as the outside. It just makes my life so much easier and makes things go so much quicker. So I'm trying to think of anything else with this quilt that I've come across that's been other than I can't think, I'm drawing a blank, but does anybody have any questions?
No, they just love it.
They're just drooling.
Oh, okay.
Gorgeous quilt.
Well, that's
We
good.
love
I was
you.
like, and so
Yeah.
we didn't just come. So how we came up with the name Flex with these, we originally, when I started working on Everlasting Stitches, I put Scott, my husband, who makes them for me, to task on what I needed. And we really went around and around because these are an elliptical shape. And he was thinking that I wanted them on circles, which isn't what I wanted. I was like, no, that's not what I am. So we went through like so many different sizes and adding different things, because like I said, if you look at here, like being able to line up, excuse me, where's my C? So being able to line up to keep these even. So this is lined up with this line right here. And then when I can make sure that it's super easy for me to do that. And then the second one was with that third line, but being able to line these up with the edge of my border and make sure that they're even so they're not lopsided was really essential to me. And originally we had they were all just straight lines, and then we did dotted lines, and then we numbered them. So I just have to show you guys that my husband is the same. I don't say that very often, but these are mistakes. These are the trial and error. These are not going to be used, but these are all the things, like you see, I drive him crazy because he'll make one for me and it takes some, he's got to design it and do it all. And then he brings it to me. And I'm like, that's not going to work. That's not what I want. I was like, we got to go back to the drawing board. So anyway, so there's a lot of work and planning. Trust me, guys, that come out with these 5 specific ones. I'm very specific about what I want.
All right, Linda. So a few questions came rolling in. Are you ready for some?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So you didn't stitch around the pennies, but do you normally stitch in the ditch around each applique piece?
Pretty much. Very rarely do I let like applique, just because it needs some stitching. Once it comes off the frame and it's very relaxed, and that's when you can really kind of see, because I have it, typically anyone will have it pulled pretty tight on their frame, or relatively, once the stitching gets on it, it just adds more tension. And when the quilt comes off the frame and it relaxes, you'll really be able to tell the areas that aren't quilted. And applique is one that does that. So not only does it add a lot of texture and makes it look really pretty and bounce off the quilt, but it'll stabilize it. So typically I stitch around all the appliques and on them if they're big enough.
Awesome. And then what thread do you use in the bobbin when you're using the monofilament?
That's an awesome question. So I will have, I use Magna Glide magnetic bobbins. They're pre-wound and they're a 60 weight, and I use them almost exclusively. I never wind bobbins anymore. I love them so much. So I'll take one out of my machine right now, actually. So you can see it. And I think it's just the black that's in there. So in it, it's magnetic, so it's not going to come out. And I'll show you. So there's a little magnet on this side. And then you take that little there's a tensioner. I think it looks like a little man in there that's got his hands up. You take that out and then you just stick it in there. And I never tinker with my tension anymore, ever. I used to use a TOA that for long armors, like to kind of check your tension with it. And I never do anymore. So I'm going to have Elena, hopefully she can back up maybe. And then I can show you guys where I keep all my bobbins. So look in here, if you guys can see in here, they're all color coordinated. They're like candies, and then I keep them out of the sunlight. And so they're in here. These are like my colors, and then here's the black, but here's like my neutral ones. And I just keep them in my pie safe. This pie safe's a quilt and thread safe now, so it keeps them out of the light. But those are made by Quilting. I believe that their website is habindash.com, but they're by Quilting, and they are Magna Glide, and they're awesome. And I typically match threads. So like with this, when I'm using the monofilament, it's clear on top. I'll use just like a black bobbin on the back because the backing is black. If it was a light, then I would do that. But I always usually match bobbin threads too.
Awesome. One last one. Have you ever broken the flex templates when quilting?
Not yet. They're really strong. They're a 1/4 inch acrylic, and when we found these, like, we're using cast acrylic, and I actually there's lots of reasons that they're the green color that they are. Is not only so that you can see them, but also that was like the strongest acrylic that I could find. There's like lots of different grades of acrylic, and we use the highest grade acrylic in clear and the green, so that they don't. I've dropped mine. I've actually stitched on it before. I've not broken a template. Now I know that it happens, and I know what the pointier ends and things like that. Now I've been using these now since January. Steadily. This is my 3rd quilt that I'm working on them with, and I haven't had any issues. I still have my original QP curves, the originals that before I was even selling them. So I still have those. So, and I know that they break. I know that can happen, but no, I haven't. Yeah, knock on wood, I guess. I don't want to jinx myself.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So Linda, thank you so much. I'm amazed. I'm just so happy I can just hand it over to you, because Wow.
I am lucky to have Lisa because she doesn't ever tell me what to quilt or what she doesn't like or anything. She just lets me. I feel like we know each other well enough. I know what Lisa likes. I'm never going to give her a quilt that looks bad. At least I don't think. She's never said anything to me. But I think we read each other pretty well on what we think the quilts. I never want to quilt so that all you see is the quilting. I want it to look like that's how the quilt was born. Like that's how it was meant to be. I don't want anyone to look at it. I want people to look at it and look at Elisa's amazing needle, her handwork, as well as my quilting. So we're lucky we work so well together.
I think the long armors who get to watch this have picked up a lot of tips from you. And we love that you share everything. It's all there for everybody. And Linda's going to come and teach at our new place. We were thinking maybe September, right?
Yes, and I'm ready. Are you kidding me? I am so ready to do all the things. It's like I am so ready. But can we talk about how good Lisa looks? I don't know if anyone's looks amazing. I don't know if she's doing a phenomenal job living her best life. So I love it. And building Primitive Gatherings world. As long as I've known Lisa, this has been her dream. So this is just as exciting for me to see too. I can't wait to stay there. So I hope you guys are all going to go there and like make pilgrimages like to Primitive Gatherings world.
Well, thank you so much for sharing everything today. Thank you. I don't know if it's Elena or Alyssa. I can't.
It's Elena. Elena is home. Alyssa is coming home tonight. Her dad is going to go pick her up because Elena came home early. She didn't have her classes were online from school, and she's feeling a little under the weather, just regular old cold, because they actually get tested about every 4 days at college for COVID at Hope College in Holland. So she was on her way home and she had like a little accident thing where semi blew out their tire in front of her and she hit her car. So we had to go and get her and help her out. But so she's been home, but she's living her best life. So I told her she could hold the video and it would make it so much easier for me to hold the iPad.
Yes, we so appreciate it.
She is.
There we go. I miss you guys.
She was in her pajamas too, and I was like, you might end up on that live. You might want to put do something.
Whenever I think of the girls, I think of them bouncing on the jumpy jump in the lake here.
Yes, exactly.
And I got them both suspended in the air above the jumpy jump when I took a picture of them. It was so fun.
Yes, so cute.
Okay, all right. So we have a little bit more to talk about, but again, thank you so much.
Yes,
we appreciate you. We
Thanks
appreciate everything. All right, say goodbye to Linda, everybody.
Bye,
Linda.
All right. And you're back.
All right, everyone. A little more here to do, but wasn't that awesome that Linda shares all those things with us? I can't imagine, having that vision to graph that all out or plan that all out and stitch that all out. I'm just happy to write the check. Just write the check. So do we need to take a short little intermission? So hang on, we'll be right back.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. Told you it was going to be short. No, that's a battery change. Our battery, a full brand new battery, doesn't last as long as we do. So we have to make sure we don't lose everything completely. So a little intermission. All right. Summer block of the week, 2020. This was our pieced version here. It's called Check Me Out. Isn't that a great name? We did two versions. Scrappy over here. And this is the first reveal of the Scrappy finished. The guys just quilted this yesterday or the day before. Jean put that binding on, and here it is, out in the wild already. So I love Scrappy quilts. You know that about me. I love tiny piecing. I just like to make quilts that people go like, oh, look at that. And then you look at all the other little intricate things, and you can spend a long time looking at these quilts, and they're just so fun to look at, appreciate, and to make. So don't think that this is above and beyond your skill, because remember, we're just sewing 1/4 inch seams. So really, what's the difference? It only becomes little after you press it. Then it's little. Other than that, it's pretty much 1.5 inches, an inch, or whatever, but it doesn't really come small until we're pressing it open. And then we see these little 3-inch honeys here. So this version was the scrappy version. This version over here was called Lake House. So scrappy can be controlled scrappy. Maybe you have a ton of fabric at home and you only need the pattern. We can do pattern only, or here's a good idea of how your kit will come. This kit for these 2 projects comes in a really cool kit keeper where each one of these holds 4 or 5 blocks. So we have that all parted out for you already. And there's plenty of fabric in here for you to do this bigger than what we have. I was very generous on the fabric this year. So I'm sure there's some of you who are in here watching this that have made this, but we have a lot of the scrappy and we only have a small amount of Lake House left as full kits. Now we don't go backwards and kit these ever again. So once these are gone, they are gone. So keep that in mind, but aren't they fabulous? Does anybody have any questions? We will be doing another pieced summer block of the week. So we do pieced, we do English paper piecing, and we do a wool applique. So that's what we'll have again for you this year. It'll just be a little bit more of a delayed start. We usually start like the first week in June, but unfortunately that's the time when we have to move this year. So we'll probably like bump that off maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks. We'll see how that goes. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for that information. However, we will launch. I give you that little sneak peek of what we're going to be doing, and then that's when you'll sign up. So we'll always look for that in our Facebook group. We will be talking about it live as well. But again, Baptist fan on each one. The guys quilted. And they always like it when I talk about them. Here's the back of this one. And they use Orifil 50 weight on their Bernina long arms. They love that thread for their machine quilting. And they use it in the bobbin as well on top. They do some monofilament as well. Grab this one. I love that piece of fabric. Perfect for this quilt. All right, so don't waste any time. If you absolutely love to have one of these kits or just the pattern, they are all on the website under that button I told you about, Live with Lisa. And Kaylee, do we have any other questions? You're all getting tired now, right? It's about an hour or so.
No more questions.
Okay, no more questions. I'll just hang on a little bit. I think Kaylee wants to sign off today. And hey, I love it that she is willing, because it's kind of nerve-wracking doing this job. But we're over that already. We love hanging out with you. We love that you come on and hang out with us and be inspired by expert long arm quilters, or I can maybe entice you into starting a new project. So that's my job. I'm here to make sure you keep stitching every day. That is my little motto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Okay, Kaylee.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to come back on here and thank everyone who decided to send us a super sticker or a super chat. We love seeing them come in. Most of all, we really love your support. I mean, I may be speaking for both of us here, but we love our afternoons with you guys. So if you this is going to be available. This is a feature that we have available for all of our live streaming. So our next live, if you're here with us, if you want to support us again, remember the super chat and the super stickers. So we appreciate you, and we will see you again.
All right. Awesome job. Thanks, everyone.